and welcome to another episode of, episode 4 of our show, our live show, Sports Tech Weekly. Woohoo! Today I've got with me. Ben is not here. He's enjoying the airs of Cape Town while we're enjoying the weather in Bangalore.
Yep.
This is, in India we would call them chuddy buddies. You can look up that on Urban Dictionary if you want. Abhishek Thomas is one of my best friends in the whole wide world. But also, more importantly, he was a star athlete and my captain for a number of sports. For cricket, for our school team captain, football, our school team captain, ace golfer. Of course, all those days are long behind him.
Of course, yeah. Except the golf.
Except the golf.
I still have some in the kitty there.
Okay, so, Abhi, do you know the format of the show?
No, man, explain it to me.
He has no idea. Literally, I just grabbed him. He's got his beer. He was just...
Oh, there you go. Cheers, guys.
Grabbed him other than do the show alone. No, so all we do on Sports Tech Weekly, is we talk about the 5 leading stories from the world of sports tech.
All right.
Interesting news that are of millions.
Of course,
which,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. No, 1 million.
Oh, it's 1 million, right?
It's rounding up.
Wow, I should have cleaned up.
Okay, so we talk about the coolest stories in the world of sports tech.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to start off with our lead story from last week, which is actually now it's becoming a story that I don't know. Well, clearly, actually, you can have been shopping for. I got some nice.
Need some running to do.
I need some running to do. No, okay. So we talked about this last week. So Abhi, you know, so I call him Tommy. I don't know what I'm saying. Peloton, everybody here.
Yeah, it's huge.
Understands that company is huge, taken the world by storm. But in the last few months, things have not been going well for them. The stock price slumped. They did have a bump. I think in the first week of February, I think stock price went up by about 30, but it's equalizing. Their CEO has left. They got a CEO. I think a couple of days ago, there was news that one of the companies that they acquired, Precor, a story that their CEO got dumped out of the company. So a lot of things have happened. We said Apple was in prime position or maybe a good company to acquire Peloton. It's like the names are popping out of every hat that you can imagine. Yeah, so this story, which is on the BBC, by the way, ignore this ad and you'll see the BBC logo up there, which is talking about Nike being attracted to Peloton. Nobody is going to see the Wall Street Journal, etc. Trade rumors saying companies from Apple, Nike, and Amazon, which are traditional, but there are other companies, maybe Tesla, maybe even Target, like a supermarket, whatever chain. So it's getting a bit nuts. Man, how do you go from listing like in 6 months to?
It's crazy, man. Like I think you as well, right? Saying that post-pandemic people are wanting to go back to the gym, and I think that's why no one wants to stay at home, work out by themselves. It's like working out is also a social, experience.
Speaking of your working out, been going like no, as in pre and post pandemic. Seriously, what do you use any tools? Do you use? I know you use an app called Fitter.
Yeah, we use an app called Fitter. That's right. And one of our friends, actually, again another chuddy buddy. So he's a qualified trainer on that. So got on a program with him. So he's been helping us with our diet. What to eat right, basically. He's given us a bunch of exercise every day, half an hour, 40 minutes, but. Whenever we can, we get to it. My wife's more diligent, of course, with this whole thing. And but now
we're working out.
Yeah, but now I think we want to get back to the gym.
Let me ask a different question. Peloton device costs $2,500. Yeah, so it's expensive. In INR also, it's expensive.
Right.
There is an version, TreadFit, which was acquired by CureFit, another big fitness company in India. Would you invest that kind of money, lakh and a half, whatever it is, in a premium connected fitness device? Or would you say, no, I'd rather work on the apps and work with my trainer and go to a gym membership instead?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking more for the latter. Like, I enjoy that gym experience, go with a bunch of boys, have a good time and come back. Like, no, it is. It's part of the experience. You go you have a gym buddy across the road. So we both go. He's a guy, he's like 40 plus and he shows me everything good. We pump iron and it's good fun.
solid.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
See now Peloton is suffering because, as Tommy said, the people are craving for that experience. That's
Yeah.
why I bring him in to
Yeah.
make it more interesting. All right, story number 2. This is not that exciting a bit of news, but an interesting bit of news, I have to say. This comes from the Sacramento Kings. Let me just now give my windows. Yeah. So All-Star week, weeks. They just announced. Did you watch? By the way,
No.
Have you been in touch
No.
with it? Like they have this bunch of cool stuff happening. Obviously, the big trade. The big trade. You guys must have seen this. Ben Simmons and James Harden swapping teams.
Wow, really?
Yes,
Harden
Harden.
the Rockets.
Harden from the Rockets went to the Nets.
Okay.
Like basically protested, revolted against his organization to get his move to the Nets, which became a big three of KD, Kyrie, and James.
Nice.
Kyrie can't play half the games because he's anti-vax. Thanks, Novak. Lots of them around. So he can't play any of the home games because New York City does not allow. He's out there. James went in. They were big three. Now they've disappeared. Also, Ben Simmons had a lot of issues. Anyway, we're talking about all those trades. Lots of interesting stuff happening there. But what's interesting to us today is that the Sacramento Kings have announced a startup competition. And as you can see, $10,000 in cash to.
So this is around the All-Star weekend?
No, I think they're going to start applications. I think this article says, does it say April 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's All-Star weekend is now, I think in a couple of weeks. So that,
Okay.
yeah, no, actually, I read a different article. This doesn't have the right date. I think the applications open on the 25th of this month. Goes on the end of it. On the end of April.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That
it
would make
says,
sense, I think.
yeah, they apply, which culminates with a vote on April 3rd.
Okay. Crowdsourced vote. Okay.
There as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, not a great article. I looked for a couple of stories about what types of startups, but yeah, you can imagine fan engagement, anything to do with athletes,
Obviously anything to do with sport, I guess. Right?
anything to do with specific ball and fans. So the Sacramento Kings, who of course
That's pretty cool,
Shaquille
man.
O'Neal calls the Sacramento Queens from their rivalries back in the days. You should watch. Yeah.
Well, Jason Kidd and
Chris Webber.
Chris Webber.
Chris
Was the
Webber.
Kid there as well for some time?
Yeah, no, was their point guard is Mike Bibby, and before that Jason Williams. You're talking about was the cool guy with the great handles and no, not Kid, but yeah, and then Big Shot Bob Drain is yeah, good times. We used to watch a lot of basketball. Clearly, okay. So that's the Sacramento Kings story. So startups apply. It's a nice. Now this story I have put in especially for us to talk about.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to touch on the metaverse and all that, but first I have to say that Abhi and me,
United.
yeah, which is currently suffering. We beat Brighton. Did you watch the game?
Yeah. Tough game. I think. As in, we had a lot of chances.
I didn't watch it. Like
should have killed it off.
Kickoff. How do you stay up, man? Kickoff is like 1:30 in the morning.
I
for
didn't
me.
watch the game. I watched the highlights.
Right,
the
same.
extended highlights. But
Yeah, not
and even
first half looked like.
yeah, but even if you see Ragnick's comments post game, right? We should kill this game.
Yeah.
And if you look at the highlights, you had so many chances. I think Brighton also, had some chances. So at 1-0, Ronaldo scored, right?
Yeah.
And then
early in the second half.
yeah, and then Brighton had a player sent or last man challenge.
Elanga, yeah.
Right, and that pretty much changed the game. Having said that, they still had a couple of chances that they could have equalized. Brighton, and then we got our second goal in
late,
the
super
95th
late.
minute.
But Bruno had chances. Ronaldo missed a couple of
Exactly,
headers.
exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like that's been the pattern. The whole,
Yeah.
even the 1-1 against Newcastle, 1-1 at Burnley, then 1-1 at Southampton.
Yeah.
Each game have had chances to kill the game.
It's true. I think we've just not been clinical enough, As in
Bit of luck.
but we have quality players there.
Yeah,
Just about getting on the score sheet.
Speaking of quality players, one of them who we had high hopes for, Jadon Sancho, the article headline clearly suggests, jumping on the metaverse craze. So what is he doing in the metaverse? Meta Soccer is the app that he's jumped on. I'll give you the story. First impressions, or do you know what do you understand?
Mal, you gotta just explain to me
Okay.
what this is about, what it means.
So basically, what we're doing or what's happening is digital avatars. That's all. Everybody's living in a digital where we keep hearing about stories of there's digital clothing, property, all of that. So now there are different apps which are creating their own mini worlds. my analogy for this is think of it as digital countries.
Okay.
So each platform, whether it's Roblox, whether it's Nike Land, whether it's whatever, each application is a country of its own.
Okay.
Yeah, where I have a version of me lives there. If I have a visa to that country,
Okay.
if I have access to get
How do
into
you
it,
engage though? Like what?
that's the question. I mean, that so a lot, some guys. So for example, with the Australian Open, they had a virtual world, which was actually pretty cool. They had come and play. You could
Is it like
watch.
what, VR?
No, it's not VR. You're getting into the world. There are VR based metaverse. Metaverse. There are also a lot of applications now which are tactile. So you can wear a glove or where you can pick up things or like feel things in this virtual world. So lots of interesting stuff.
Interesting, man. Yeah, it takes me some time to get wrap my head around it.
I think it takes most people a lot of time. I mean, it's a lot of. I think a lot of things are just getting the word meta thrown at them.
Tell us why is this a big story though?
It's not.
It's not.
To be honest, I wanted to talk about United. It's really not.
I love how you put that in there.
Yeah, it's just here's another guy.
Right.
Literally, it's like the latest footballer.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about MetaSoccer, one of the platforms. There are a few platforms. Okay. So what is MetaSoccer doing? Where you can own a club and generate income while you play. Nice. So it's like in the metaverse. Kind of
more like manager
in the game, clear probably, but it seems closer to manager world. Manager world now. So what Jadon Sancho's partnership with this company means is that there will be a likeness of him, like how like people would have avatars of players.
Absolutely,
that's it. These guys don't have the rights to all these players yet, so they'll sign these individual partnerships. And what else will sound bigger? Actually, this article explains what is it's 3D worlds where users can game, connect, experience things, blah blah blah. With this one is so with VR, AR, or it can just be 2D as well. Lots of Adidas on there. Yeah. So Thomas Partey, who we do not like because he's an Arsenal midfielder, Arsenal shite. Shoot. Yeah. So here's what you can get. This digital avatar has taken the avatar captures the football player's attributes, signature look.
More accurate than EA Sports, I guess.
I don't know. This is really look that. I mean. Yeah. Okay, we'll give them a pass. And custom-made red and white print jersey matched with cleats. Player confirmed more updates will happen soon. Interestingly, I went to his Twitter handle, and it was, I think his page is down or it wasn't loading. Okay. I hope there's no other. Yeah. Sorry. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Yeah. We'll focus on nothing green. No, so that's basically the story. Sancho on the metaverse. Who is in the chat? That's Vishnu. Vishnu says Newcastle is a world-class team. Oh, dude. Well, I mean,
as in they
3 wins on the bounce.
Yeah,
3 wins on the
bounce.
bounce.
You got the right players. Looks like Trippier's free kick is injured.
Injured now. Actually, interestingly, Vishnu, Newcastle have conceded only 1 goal in the last 3 games, and that also was an own goal. Yeah, it was a Lascelles' own goal. Yeah. Suddenly, and I mean, you don't think Eddie Howe's going to be a defensive manager, but like he's got his priorities right. I think Newcastle will stay up. I think that's for sure. Yeah. They're already out.
The amount of investment in and now the kind of players they've gotten is you can see quality in that team. Yeah. And Eddie Howe, we know, is a quality manager, right?
Decent manager.
Decent manager. As in, like, he's a mid-table manager.
He's a mid-table.
He's not a relegation manager. You know? As in Bournemouth.
He did get relegated, but he stayed up for a long season.
He has that talent.
He has the talent. He was touted for a lot of big jobs before. So I think got a decent manager. Let's see how they go. All right, Vishnu. Newcastle, we'll let that pass. Okay. Next story. This is a pretty straight. Tommy, I want to talk about this one. WSC Sports. Okay. Do you know about them? I'm guessing not.
No, man. Yeah.
So WSC, some of the audience might know. The others who don't is just automated highlights. Or say automated video content production and distribution companies. That's their one line. Doesn't sound too complicated, but here's what they do: is that they have different software. They call it automagical cameras. Okay. Yeah. But basically, there's a camera pointed at a field of play, which is moving automatically, which is not operated with any human intervention, and it is panning and covering the field of play, zooming in, zooming out based on the action of what is happening.
Now, so this most movement based, I guess.
Purely movement based. It's following the ball using AI It's tags the players. It knows who's on the ball. It knows where the ball is. It knows all of these attributes and details. Based on that, it's feeding this live broadcast direct to stream to wherever it is being broadcast, whichever channel might be MyCujo if you're a direct streaming site, or maybe bigger platforms like I don't know ESPN, even or whoever was
How do you view this though, as the end user?
As a streaming. So you're on a streaming platform like Hotstar, like whatever, and the feed is coming from.
Oh, right. So it's proper video.
It's pure video content. So their goal is not at the elite levels and stuff. It's about getting you to send to your grandparents who might be somewhere else in the world, or your parents, their grandchild's under 14s football games, which nobody's interested in televising.
Right.
But you can set it up with your phone or set up.
Wow. Okay.
And
so it's an app on the phone, and you just.
It also has. They can use a phone camera, but they have their own cameras as well, depending on how much you want to spend.
Right.
They have a solution which is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that is what WSC Sports are. And then not only is broadcasting the live feed, within I think 5 minutes or 20 minutes, I don't remember how long the promise is. You're getting highlights clip straight away pushed to social media, for Facebook, to Instagram, wherever you want to publish it. That can be shared. And on the other side, there's also automatic analytics for the coaches. They have different packs that you can take on the board. Right. So there is a pack that you can take, which is so the coach is getting feedback on who ran how many, how much, all the stuff that we see on the broadcast.
I think also a good application would be, remember, like young kids, right? These parents or their immediate coaching staff take videos of them specifically and send them to bigger clubs for
scouting.
So
there are some really good solutions. We do that. Tonsa is one. There are a bunch, but absolutely. This is used for enough.
Is this use case across the sporting industry, or is it specific to?
No, there are 3 or 4 really big Israeli companies. So WSC Sports is all Tel Aviv based, but all in and around the area. Playside started in tennis.
Okay.
And they do the basically same thing: record the game, automate it, like getting all the data.
Tennis, right?
But the solution was built and then has moved on to other sports. WSC, I'm not sure where the origin was, but I think it was football. I think actually no, WSC was basketball, because Pixelot, which is another one which started in football, but now all of them do all of the sports because they've raised a lot of money.
Right.
$100 million in a Series D round. I mean, they've over 150 employees. They've got offices outside of Israel, in New York, Sydney, London. They're all over the world. I mean, these guys are not small companies anymore. But look at the content that they are creating. 3.4 million highlights were created using their AI-based platform. 6,000 stories created, 100 million views, blah, blah, blah.
That's just big numbers.
Yeah, big numbers. And they're only clearly trying to get bigger. NBA, NHL, ESPN, so they do some stuff for the big boys as well.
Okay.
And the fund is Israel-based. I read somewhere, I don't know if it's this article or not, which is what they want for sports media rising new consumption habits. I mean, imagine it'll just be more of the same. I think, just guess moving through. Okay, so that's WSC Sport. Automagical video content. Let's see, I can show you their website quickly. Yeah, gives it maximize post content. That's the phrase that they use. Video solutions. Yeah, interesting. A bit cheesy.
Yeah,
but no,
catchy. I remember that.
It's good. It's good. It's exactly. Yeah. So as you can see, they do it for a number of sports, from surfing to football to basketball.
I'm interested to go check out the actual end content, like how would I get to view?
Yeah,
that's Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they do esports as well. Like I said, they raise a lot of money. These guys get big. They go across sports. I don't even know which league that is. That looks like it's some European league, obviously.
Spanish, maybe
FIBA or something. Anyway, so they do it for a number of big guys. Personalized video for every fan, automatically real time. This is WSC. Aviv and Daniel, met them once in Tel Aviv, I think.
Nice.
But good guys, and the product is okay. That is about WSC Sports. And our last, you like that one?
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, well done.
Cheers, bro.
Good content here.
Yeah, tune in every week.
Yeah, sure.
My top of the week. Tommy, have you watched the Winter Olympics?
No.
At all.
At all.
The only story that I know which I followed, was I don't know if you saw the clip of that snowboarder from 2 Winter Olympics ago, so it was ago, who I forget her name. Should have prepped that story better.
Okay.
But she was clearly winning the snowboarding race. The race of 4 people, and she was clearly winning. And she did a big tried to do a trick on the last slide.
A celebratory thing?
Yeah, like a celebrity on the last one.
Wow,
And
don't
she
tell me.
fell. Olympic gold she lost. Yeah, because the 2 other people had crashed.
Wow.
She got silver. And she tried 2 Olympics. No, that was 3 Olympics ago. Then she tried 2 Olympics after that. And she didn't even place. She got gold this year.
Well done.
Shannon something.
Okay.
I want to say.
Oh, so this story was from the previous.
This was
Olympics.
she did that,
Yeah.
and this year she came back
Nice.
and she got gold. Took her a
Reminds
while.
me of like Seabiscuit, the first story.
What happened to Sweet Biscuit?
So there's this one race. I think it's called the Santa Anita, right?
Sure.
So he's riding, and then he's basically.
Oh
like,
right,
it's a Tobey Maguire.
yeah. And then he from the
His
blind side.
Yeah. He's like already celebrating before he hits the line.
Right,
And the horse comes
right.
and takes him, and then he, after his leg breaks, etc., comes back and he wins the Santa Anita. Yeah, that's
Yes,
it.
there you go, bro. Oh, lots of references. Anyway,
Tell me something about the
Yeah.
Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Jamaica have a bobsled team.
They do.
They do.
They do.
Right. That's
They
what
do.
I thought.
One second.
I
I have to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Today.
I think I saw it also. I think
Uh,
I read through the news.
Yeah, just today. To invoke cool runnings is back at the Winter Olympics 24 years later.
Yeah,
There we
you
go.
There you go.
Cool runnings, great
Cool
movie.
running, great movie.
Great
One of my
movie.
favorite ones.
Great movie. Shout out to Wayne Stevens and Nimroy Target.
Yeah, let's go, boys.
Is there an image somewhere? I'm getting
Jamaica, we got a bobsled. It's a two-man team.
It's a 2-man. It's not a 4-man
It's
thing.
not a four-man.
Yeah, I just gave 2 names, dude.
I thought the other two weren't.
Like this, pretty anonymous. Right. Okay.
Interesting enough, they actually come from a sprinting background. Or
Actually, I look a bit chubby. I don't think he's been sprinting much. I don't know.
very bad angle.
Shin Wayne.
Of course, yeah.
There's the. Should we do the song? No. Okay, coming back to the main story. Okay, so we're at the Winter Olympics, and this is a PR post.
Mhm.
It's pushed by Omega because Omega is pushing articles on, which is also. I thought it was interesting to see because we don't talk about the Winter Games. What kind of cool tech has been showcased there by Omega?
Wait, hold on. Who? Oh, the watch company. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so Omega announcing a number of new high-tech systems. Yeah, let's see. What are they doing? In figure skating, they have a network of motion sensors, a camera installed around the ice to offer a detailed analysis. So like similar to what we were seeing with WSC, so there are cameras placed around there. Maybe it's not the automagical cameras which is doing stuff, but there's a lot of data which is being gathered.
Video-based, huh?
Video-based data is being gathered, giving feedback. So height, distance, complexity of jumps, blah, blah, blah. The system will allow skaters and teams to analyze their routines.
Okay.
So usually with this video stuff, there are 2 main applications. One is performance and the other is fans. So performance is stuff like this. So where I can gather all the data from on a football pitch or a basketball court or an ice skating rink over here and push it into the performance side. Who's doing what? Because they're gathering a lot of data. On the other side, what we saw with WSC or some other solutions on the fan side,
Right.
where you do automated broadcasting,
This is more performance-based.
push the highlights, push to social.
Right.
Yeah. So a bit of both. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. So that's figure skating. Never been much of a fan of figure skating.
Yeah, isn't that we've watched?
We watched.
Yeah.
Have you watched?
There was a big names. You know, when you those names, what's the famous Russian one? Maybe.
I remember Tony Harding
Okay.
and who's the one that she hit? Kelly? No, shit.
American again.
Yeah. Man, all these.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Documentaries and all this.
Yeah.
It's quite a competitive sport actually.
Super competitive. Okay, coming back to this story. So jumps are done in high speed, blah, blah. So figure skating. They have some stuff that's interesting. Okay, no, this is the race one, right?
Speed skating?
Speed skating. Yeah, so they have false start monitors.
Okay.
Okay, I would kind of expect that. That's pretty basic. Yeah. False.
I think do for the 100 meters.
I think this is a bit heavy on the PR. I think Omega is trying to make some big news out of some stuff. With movement sensors, they feed from cameras monitored by officials. Okay, now let's talk about ice hockey and redesign the clock.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what they do, right? So,
Yeah. transparent LED clocks will be mounted on the side of the rink. Blah blah.
So this is basically like a PR thing, right? For the Olympics, just to get
This
branding going and.
This wasn't a great first
that,
article. But we spoke about the Jamaica's got a bobsled team. Okay, so I think the story was worth it just to get that.
With Omega, it's interesting that they've not gone sensor based in terms of because they're a watch clock company. Like, something on the hand, that can.
Yeah, good point. That would have been more interesting to
Even
see.
if it was a prototype that they came up with.
Yeah, actually, so I can tell you, like on the side, we see a lot of interesting tech. Let me put this out here. For skiers, in fact, there was a solution I saw recently. So you get AR in your glasses. So you get glasses. So while I'm skiing on, flying down the mountain on a board or skis, I can see my typical full-on Minority Report.
It's crazy.
You get your speed, get different information.
I think it'll lead to a new breed of athletes.
Yeah, for sure.
Sort of focus,
as well as do this. Yeah. Well, imagine that's what you can give your 12-year-old or whatever kid to start. But yeah, this is all a bunch of stuff, cool stuff that's happening at the Beijing Winter Olympics. Where the other funny story that I read was that Russia, I believe, is not participating, hasn't been participating in the Olympics for a while, not as a country, Russia, but still managed to get somebody banned for failing a drug test.
They
did. Of course. They're not officially there, but they still managed to fail a drug test. There you go. Yeah, sensitive topic. We won't speak too much about that. But yeah, that's the show. Thanks, Vishnu, for at least giving us some entertainment.
Yeah, it's good having you, Vishnu. Nice.
Vishnu is part of team sports.
I can imagine. I'm glad he's here.
He's very glad he's here.
I think he's left already.
I think he's left too.
After the Jamaica bobsled,
we lost him. All right, guys. That was a bit of fun. That's our show for this week. Thanks for having me, man.
It was awesome fun.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Mark. And next week might actually be Ben by himself because I will be at a wedding with this guy.
True. Not mine.
Not mine. He's not mine.
Chatty buddies.
The Chatty buddies wedding. But yeah, otherwise we'll see you back when we do next Thursday. Ciao.
Ciao.